Today's dialogue between the Gauteng provincial government as well as organised business could signal a real shift then when it comes to how tenders are awarded and overseen in the province. And at the heart of today's discussion is an integrity pact, a commitment to ethical procurement within the province. And to help us unpack then the discussion then on this integrity pact here today, I'm joined by Professor Thuli Madonsela. Prof, thank you so much for your time. And as I mentioned, the Integrity Pact at the heart of today's discussions. Talk to us about how important it is then to have this sort of commitment between government as well as organised business.
The commitment undergirding the Integrity Pact is essential for regulating the business between government and the private sector. Is the MEC for Health, MEC Ngomo, said, we're moving from compliance to commitment. So when you have a pact, you're not just going to do the right thing because you're worried somebody's watching. You'll do the right thing because you have committed yourself to a province that functions, a province where there is trust between society and government, and a province that attracts investments because people trust the process and they believe there's a level playing field.
Now, Prof, for an ordinary citizen, how does this then filter in or trickle down into their lives? Does this mean that they will get better roads, better functioning? Talk to us about how it then affects in ordinary people.
Absolutely. As you've heard from the business people, NBI, BBC, Business Leadership South Africa, etc., yes, it will translate into better roads, faster construction of clinics, clean cities, etc. Because the idea is, number one, the tender goes to the right person. The person commits by signing the pact as part of the tender documents that firstly, the information they've provided about their competence is correct. The pricing is not overpriced or inflated, and they have a team that's going to do the job. So the team that is on the tender document is exactly the team that's going to do the job, because sometimes you get a different team that gets the tender and then they subcontract somebody else to do it. So this will make sure that you are committing to competence and good pricing, and should it appear somewhere down the line that you lied, the tender can be cancelled and all of the consequences that are built into the pact are going to kick in. So definitely there will be better things for the people of Gauteng.
And then finally, Prof, we also heard then from discussions today that it's not, we're seeing now the private sector not just being a bystander, they're also part of this pact. It's between government and the private sector. How important is it then that the private sector is not just a bystander when it comes to the commitment under this pact?
Well, it's important because it takes two to tango. Government can never be corrupt on its own. I mean, when people say the state has become a corrupt and a criminal enterprise, they're basically then saying we've become a corrupt and criminal country, because business is pretty much part of what goes wrong. So it was quite heartwarming to listen to these business leaders saying, we accept the pact, we will play our part, but government must play its part. But two, government must ensure that there are competent people managing the procurement process, because probably sometimes people take shortcuts because they're just frustrated. So if everyone plays ball, we're good to go.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Prof. That was Professor Thuli Madonsela there, giving us then just an understanding, and you heard their commitment, of course, coming from business as well when it comes to this Integrity Pact that's being discussed at this engagement between organised business as well as the Gauteng provincial government, brought together by the Gauteng Ethics Advisory Council, this commitment towards ethical and transparent procurement in order to root out corruption when it comes to procurement in the province.